This next activity will help us to define a partnership and to identify the characteristics of a partnership. We will also look at why it is important to even have partners, and then thereafter, we'll go over some points that will help you to determine whether having a partner is the best decision for your project or not. Are you ready? Click on the next slide and let's get learning. A partnership is a collaboration between two parties in a joint and coordinated action towards a common purpose. It is a relationship where all parties contribute to the output and the achievement of the objectives, rather than a solely financial relationship. Now, as you can see in the slide, there are a few words that are highlighted, and I want us to take note of these. So we have said it's a joint and coordinated action towards a common purpose. What do we mean? We touched a little bit about this in our previous activity, and we said that partners need to be working towards the same goals. A partnership can only work if we're moving in the same purpose. If goals are misaligned, then chances are you're not going to reach your destination. What else have we highlighted? We've said that all parties, everybody excluding nobody, must make a contribution. This is different from, let's say, a donor relationship, where somebody gives you money and they don't expect anything in return. A partnership means that all parties are putting something in. You bring something, I bring something, and we both benefit from what we're bringing in. What are some of the characteristics of a partnership? First of all, it's a voluntary association of partners. That means nobody has an obligation to do this. We're both getting into it because we want to be a part of it. We've volunteered ourselves to be a part of this association, and so we're all with mutual benefits and mutual interest, we're moving towards the same goal. And secondly, partners share a common interest. Another characteristic is that they're complementary resources. So each partner is expected to bring something into the relationship, whether it's technical, whether it's financial, whether it's human. Everybody must bring something to the table. We've spoken a bit about this in the previous slide. Then the next characteristic is that each partner is expected to pursue specific benefits that are fundamental into entering the partnership. So like we said before, there's an agreement, there are benefits, we're working towards goals, and each partner is expected to pursue these benefits that are fundamental to the partnership. Another characteristic is that parties accept the need to share risk and to confront risk together based on a foundation of mutual trust. Finally, the relationship is mutually beneficial and it creates value for all the parties that are involved. Why should we even focus on building partnerships? You see, project success doesn't just rely on securing a small amount of money or a large amount of money from donors. Project success is a holistic process that depends on gathering support and networks and creating relationships and developing these relationships so that they're fulfilling and they're mutually beneficial. And there's several layers in your project plan, and each of these will require certain steps and maybe different people to help you to achieve your goal. There is a famous quote from Shakespeare where he says, "No man is an island." What does this mean? This emphasizes that there is no man who is self-sufficient. We all rely on other people to make our existence possible. And likewise, your project exists in an ecosystem where you are responsible for identifying who you need to work with and how you're going to work with these different people in order to be successful. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of why you need to build partnerships. Okay, so yes, your project exists in an ecosystem. So what is it going to benefit you to get into a partnership? First of all, getting into a partnership gives you a competitive advantage. What do we mean? It puts you ahead. It puts you ahead of the game. It puts you further than you could have been if you were working alone. Secondly, it gives you an opportunity to access a wider range of expertise. Although we can admit that this CSP program is really fantastic and you're learning so much, but you don't know everything. And there's some people who know more about certain things that you're working on than you do. So getting into an agreement or a partnership with these people will help you to access their expertise without having to maybe pay for it. Why? Because you're giving something to them in return that's actually going to benefit them. Thirdly, a partnership will give you the opportunity to access more resources. Now, these could be technical resources, financial resources, human resources. If you enter into a partnership, you're more likely to benefit from getting more than you would have been able to do on your own. A partnership will also help you to expand your network and your reach. Think about getting into a partnership with maybe the government. And think about the people that maybe your local government is working with. All those people are in their network. And ordinarily, you wouldn't have had access to those people. But by entering into a partnership with your local government, it means that they give you access to these people, automatically increasing your network and your reach. A partnership will also help you to strengthen weak areas of your organization. We've touched on this a little bit as we've been going through the slides. And when we spoke a little bit about expertise. As you're working on your project, you're going to begin to identify that there are areas where there are gaps, or there are areas where you need somebody else to help you. As you do that, entering into a partnership will help you to strengthen those weak areas, and you can bring in somebody who's better at handling those things. So for example, if you don't know how to handle finances, which is an important one, maybe you want to partner with somebody or with an organization that's providing financial services, and this will help you to strengthen a weak area in your project or in your organization. So, is partnership the answer for everything? Quite obviously, no. So how do you know whether or not you should enter into a partnership? There are a few things that need to be taken into consideration, and these are listed on the slide. So in order to help you determine, is there a need, you need to ask yourself, what is the basis of the partnership? Why are you even entering into it? Or why are you even thinking about entering into it? And who do you want to enter into a partnership with? Do you have a shared vision with this person or with this organization? Will the partnership provide a solution for you? Do you have a solution for the person you want to get into a partnership with? In considering what are the benefits, you need to ask yourself, do you have clear goals? Are you sure you know what you want to achieve through this partnership? What interest is there for you? And what interest is there for your partner? Then let's consider, is there someone else who's doing something similar to what you want to do? Why is this important? Well, there's no need for you to reinvent the wheel. If there's somebody who's, got a solution for some of the problems that you've identified in your community. What am I saying here? I'm saying, why don't you think about entering into a partnership with somebody who's doing similar work with you? And then maybe you can work together with that person. There are probably things that you've thought of that they haven't thought of, and vice versa. Then the next important thing is research. Have you done your homework? Oh, that was a bit of a scribble over there. Anyway, what do I mean by have you done your research? Many people get into a business or into a project thinking that people want the product or the service that they're providing. Meanwhile, they don't know that. And then they wonder, why isn't my product successful? Or why isn't my project working? Well, you didn't do your homework. If you'd done your homework, you might have found out that maybe people are not really interested in what you're providing. And then finally, how are partnerships linked to the targets and strategies of your partner organizations? These are all things to consider before you enter into the partnership. There is so much to learn about why partnerships are important. And I'm sure that there are some reasons that you can think of that I didn't mention here. But the key takeaway from this session is that it is important for you to realize that there is an opportunity for you to make more impact or to scale your work if you have a partner. So take that into consideration. Now, I want you to think about your community action project and using the information you just learned, determine, do you think you need a partner? In conjunction with this activity, there's a reading that's been prescribed for you. It will probably take you an hour to get through it, but as you go through this reading, you'll begin to understand more about partnerships. It's specific to nonprofits, but maybe you're not running a nonprofit, but I think this reading will be very relevant to your community action project because it's a small project, and I think you need to consider some of the things that are in there, take what's for you, leave what you don't think is relevant, and practicalize this teaching so that it's relevant to your community action project. I hope you've enjoyed this activity and I hope you've learned something. Like I said, go back and think about whether or not you need a partner and what kind of partner you're going to need. See you later. Bye-bye.